Hi, everyone. This is Crystal of Color Coded Style, and I'm here today with Cara and Jenae of Epic Every Day. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so let's just jump right in. I found you guys on Instagram, and of course, Color Coded Style is all about featuring Black people working within the fashion industry in any kind of way. And I loved you all's products featuring kids of all colors to uplift our kids, our Black and brown kids. So how did you, well, first of all, you guys went to HBCU. I wanted to start there. Which HBCU did you guys go to? Because I'm a Howard grad.
Okay.
So I went to North Carolina A&T.
Okay. Yes.
And I am from the illustrious Morgan State University.
Okay.
You have to always add that, the illustrious Morgan State University.
That's right. Excellent, excellent. And you guys grew up in the Midwest. So tell me about how that influenced the start of Epic Every Day, or was it when you guys had your own kids that you said, hey, we want to see more of our Black kids on products? How did it come about?
Yeah, so I'll kick off, and then Cara, you can jump in if I'm missing anything. I would say, just as younger brown children growing up in Cincinnati, there were not a lot of products that had pictures that looked like us and things that looked like us. I think our mom went out of the way. So much so, if she saw something, she would buy it. Like, even if it was a baby toy and I was like 16, not gonna have any kids anytime soon. She was like, I'm gonna get it and keep it because I might not find anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I think that was the first part of thinking like that, of, oh, it's really nice to see something that looks like you. And it was even more ingrained when we had our own children. I have two little girls, 9 and 12. But when they were little, I was like, I can't find anything that has kids, and especially kids with the hairstyles, because we like to change up our hairstyles on our kids, right?
Yes.
We like braids and beads one day. I think my daughter today has a puff mohawk down the middle of her head. I'm hoping she doesn't run into the screen up. But yeah, we didn't see any of that out there, and we have no background in any of this. And so Cara and I were speaking one day, and I was like, oh, we should start a business in doing this. And she's like, we don't know what we're doing. I'm like, got to start somewhere, right? So that's kind of how we got kicked off of, just seeing that there was a gap and lack of representation. And I think what cemented it for us is we had our first product, and I was living in Scotland at the time with my family, and we went to Dubai on a trip. And my daughter took the first backpack we ever had, which I probably have somewhere around here. And we got out of the taxi, and the lady comes running up to us, and she's like, where did you get that? And I was like, it's our company, but we haven't even started. We don't even have Instagram yet. I was just trying it out from a quality perspective. And she said, oh, well, I live in the Middle East, teaching English, but I'm from Atlanta originally, and I would love to buy the product. And she was our first customer. So it was really, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So it started early, even like Jenae said, with our mom. She was very intentional about putting us even in programs. We both were STEM nerds that were specifically for minorities. So we always had that inkling of that confidence and character and things of that nature when it came to our community and what that meant and how to build that confidence. So then going undergrad to HBCUs, of course, solidifies that confidence. And then we both went to PWIs for graduate school. So we had that, balance of knowing, we are part of this huge community. And then we also had that balance of maybe being the only one in the room. And even in corporate America, for both of us, oftentimes as we kind of climbed and now in different positions, especially for Jenae now, I'm semi-retired, just being the only one in the room, whether it's minority, whether it's a woman, whether it's both, kind of helped. And then as we had children, that definitely helped. And me being a boy mom, Jenae's a girl mom, me being a boy mom, LeBron, who said, we're more than athletes. We just don't have to play basketball and do some things. We're not just entertainers as well. So we wanted to start early with some visually affirming images that looked like the kids, were relatable, hairstyles, the skin tones, the textures, because as you can see with Jenae and I, we are full sisters, but we look so different. Our hairstyles are different. Our hair textures are different. So, we're just, even if you go to a family reunion or a wedding and you look at your family,
exactly.
We're a melanin rainbow, really. We're a rainbow of beautiful hues. So that's where we came up with the mocha hued, because even in our own family, it starts there, that we are just so diverse and we're all beautiful and there's beauty in that. So we wanted to just affirm that in every product and partnership that we have.
Right, right. I totally agree. And I know the colorism in our community is still a thing, and to have all the different shades and the hair textures and styles is it's a great way to just show the kids that everybody should be loved, no matter what color, no matter what hair texture you have in the Black community. So I love that.
It's all beautiful. It is all beautiful.
It is. It definitely is. So in Dubai, a lady came up to you and said, "Where did you get that?" So how did you guys talk me through the process of how you guys started the manufacturing and, that whole, and then growing the business?
So Jenae was living in Scotland when we started this. We didn't let that deter us, though. So I reached out to a few friends that are graphic designers and kind of built a very small team of consultants that we hired someone to do our actual illustrations of the children. I showed them kind of in my own way of what I wanted to be, and then tweak that over and over again till it was just right. The hair textures and the styles were just right. The skin tones were just right. The eye color, our dad had light green eyes, so some of them even have light eyes. So we wanted to make sure there was even diversity within the characters. So our illustrator is from Curacao. Our logo crafter or designer is from the Philippines. So we had a very diverse team of individuals that started our creative process. So that was our initial start of just how this would look. And then just getting into design, like Jenae and I said, we both have healthcare and mechanical engineering backgrounds. So Jenae is in engineering, but I've always been in healthcare. I was an oncology center director in the Washington, D.C. area. So just looking at that, even though it wasn't something we knew about, we just did the work, to be honest with you. Started research on materials, what was durable, what were some of the competitors using for their really durable high-end bags, water resistant, last forever, pretty much. Pop them in the washing machine, as Jenae's daughter always says, and they come out looking brand new. So those are just some behind the scenes kind of things we did before we even got to the actual creation of the bag. And then after that, found a manufacturer that we love to actually put everything together. So initially, these were just going to be for school and travel, because that's where Jenae, her kids were much younger than mine. Mine were 12 and 17 at the time. So they were getting a little older. They weren't going to necessarily use these, but her girls, were our beta testers. They told us what they liked, what they didn't like most of the time.
Yes.
Kind of help us tweak and test those. So like Jenae was saying, those first bags have been to Dubai, they've been to Barcelona, they've been to Canary Islands. Like, they have been beta tested like nobody has seen before. So that's, and then quality control too, because Jenae has a background in that because of engineering. Quality control was something that we were really adamant about: the fit, the quality, the testing, and even the safety. I mean, we have compliance testing that has been done on these as well. So it's been a long process, but it's been a lot of fun because we've learned a lot, and we're still learning. We're still learning.
And I will say, we probably played to everybody's strengths, right? So me and my sister, we couldn't be further apart in terms of, I will say, fashion and everything. Usually I'm the little sister where she's telling me what to do, right? Like, oh, don't your hair like that. Oh, that doesn't look good. So we're far apart, but we all have our strengths, right? So I do customer service. Kara's our creative visionary. She's the one pushing us to the next level of things that we need to do, where I'm like, oh, let's slow down, it's too much, right? Her husband is also from an IT perspective. So it is really like a labor of love from our family, and everybody just playing to our strengths and learning that stuff that we don't know, just learning as we go.
Right. And so how did you guys seek out mentors? I know you found the graphic designers and the manufacturer. Did you also seek out mentorship along the way? And how did that work? And what would you advise budding entrepreneurs to how do they seek out mentorship? What worked for you all?
Well, for me, because I'm the only one working in it and on it full time. So for me, it was really important from the very beginning to seek out mentorships, business mentors, training, workshops, things of that nature. So started with SCORE, started with SBA, some of those organizations that have mentors, that have workshops, that have trainings. And I just, immerse myself in everything and anything, whether it was marketing, whether it was branding, whether it was customer service, just starting locally, first of all. I'm part of the Maryland Women's Business Center, which is a great resource. And almost every area has these sorts of resources and tools and strategies that are taught locally. And then there's some national and international even organizations as well. And then there's some niche oriented ones. I mean, it might be for Black women specifically. There's a lot of accelerators. So I apply to and I still do any accelerator that I can that does fit within our synergy and in our niche as well. So those are always helpful because they're comprehensive. It's not just one and done. It's usually a long-term process. And so I've done some of those with our Village United, Elevate, which is out of Atlanta, but they've expanded that program extensively with Dr. Key. So there's a lot of accelerators. There's a lot of training. A lot of it is free. I mean, we bootstrapped with $10,000. So there wasn't a lot of money to go around for expensive training and conferences and things of that nature. So we're very meticulous and very intentional about how we spend and what is going to be the best bang for the buck on any of that. And I know Jenae has a lot of leadership training within the corporate side. So Jenae, you may want to just touch on how you've used that as well.
Yeah, and just before I touch on that, I don't like to give my sister too much credit, right? Because then it goes to her head. But I will say she has done excellent at networking, right? And she said, I work a full-time job. My kids are pretty young, right? But she's done a great job of networking and talking to people. And then I don't mind reaching out and talking to people from a manufacturing standpoint, especially because as an engineer, I've worked in manufacturing plants, I've led manufacturing plants. So I kind of know some of those questions to ask and some red flags to look for. So that's kind of, like I said before, kind of playing to our strengths. But yeah, I think networking is a big part of that. And when Cara's going out and having cards and passing them out, because we are stopped in some of the, I would say, strangest places of people asking about things. And my sister's like, you always got to have your cards, make sure you have them handy and ready to go. So I think networking is also a big piece of it.
Yeah. So, okay, so you guys, Cara, you're full-time, Jenae, you're part-time. How did that come about? I thought you guys were both like full-time doing it, but how?
No. So after I was oncology director for almost 20 years or so, but when my oldest was born, I actually started staying home. So I was a stay-at-home mom. 20 something years. But I was a stay-at-home mom. So this was an idea for Jenae, honestly, to just have me to do something other than go shopping and have brunch. But so I had the time, to be honest with you. I really had the time. I love to be creative. We both went to the School for Creative and Performing Arts in Cincinnati when we were younger. So we both have that love for, just creating and being, that kind of side. So I had the time and I wasn't working full time, consulting, but not working full time. So that's how that handled. Yeah, we handled that.
Yeah. And plus I was in Scotland. So the time difference, I think, helped because when I was waking up, like nobody in America was up, I could send notes out, I could do things of that nature. And even now, like when I get off of my other job, then I go to my next job of customer service and answering emails and answering to my sister, who I obviously report to. And so anything like that, we kind of just make it work from a family perspective.
Got it. And you were in Scotland for work?
Yes. So almost 4 years. I was leading a manufacturing plant over in Scotland for my company.
Wow. Okay. That's exciting. So what is, you guys have had a lot of press and still continue to have a lot of press. How did that start? And what would you say was maybe the big break that when you were like, okay, this is really popular and going to be big?
I think a lot of it started off as word of mouth, just from our supporters, our customers. We did have a publicist just for a very short term, just to see how that would work. But like you said, this hit and we really launched during COVID. So we didn't even keep that service that long, just because of, supply chain, a lot of things that were going on. So a lot of this is word of mouth, getting out, reaching out, word of mouth, but also cold contact as well. And just in the networks of like the accelerators, meeting like-minded entrepreneurs, we share resources. So if we are in something, we might say, oh, have you contacted this person or that person? So that helps too. And to be honest, sometimes things just drop in our email that we have no idea. We always say, where did you hear from us? And usually the answer is, oh, we Googled you, or we were just searching. So some of the biggest exposure that we've had have been just general searches on our brand, or just, Black owned businesses, things of that nature. So beside like the Kelly Clarkson show, that was a huge, our first anything nationally, that, and then also because I'm a member of the Amazon Black Business Accelerator and their Connect program, which is a smaller program for Black owned businesses, that has actually launched, some other promotions and things of that nature, like an Amazon Thursday night football commercial, things of that nature. So it's just a matter of being there, being in the right place, always being professional, treating everybody, with respect and things of that nature, and just doing the work. And even on things like this, like do it scared. We are not like public speakers. I prefer to be in the background, but everything that we do, we just do it scared, because we know that this mission is bigger than, Jenae and I, and, even our little selves as girls from Cincinnati, Ohio, that would have loved something like this. So even those times, where we just are like, I don't know, we just do it. We just go for it.
Right. Love that. Love that. And so how do Jenae, your daughters, what are their friends saying? Did you guys also kind of test the products with their friends? How did that work?
So we have let some of their friends see it. I would say I live in a predominantly white area. But it's funny because they're like, hey, can we be in a commercial? I want to be in pictures and carry the products. And so I'm like, well, you're not quite mocha hued, but there are people who have come up to us, and we've sold quite a few products around here. I would say more so with my little one, right? Because she's 9, but when we started out, she was little, and we were in Scotland, but she still got a lot of people stopping her and asking. I mean, we were in Germany in a line, and there was a gentleman, I believe he was Indian, and he stopped and was like, oh, those backpacks are awesome, right? So when you have other people come in and asking questions about it, I think that's when you really know, hey, we're on to something that's pretty important. But yeah, they do get, my little one thinks she's a superstar and has said she will sign autographs. She has her whole class looking up Epic every day. So she's all in. My oldest one helps with picture taking. I'm not very good at taking pictures, so she will help with like doing videos and taking pictures. And she has also reluctantly modeled for us. She's 12, right? So she's like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. But we have gone up to where my sister lives, because we're in 2 different areas, right? To take pictures. And the oldest one and the little one loves taking pictures, right? So
got it.
And then in my area, because I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, we have a group called Mocha Moms. So when we first started, we took 2 years to do research, just not only on the actual product side, but also the customer side. So I used to go to some of their meetings, and I was a Mocha Mom when I first moved here. And so I would do focus groups with them to see what they wanted, how they wanted things to look, what features they wanted. So a lot of focus groups were done in person, online, things of that nature. So we listened to a lot of little people because I'm in a very diverse area, as well as the moms. So it's kid tested and mother approved, like really, it really is.
Got it. I'm originally from DC, and I live in Maryland now, so I get it. And I know Mocha Moms as well, so that's cool. So how is there, I guess, a big difference, like you already kind of said, between being in Cincinnati? Jenae, you're in Cincinnati, right?
I'm in Indiana.
Indiana. Sorry about that. And then Cara, you're here in the DC area. Is there but it sounds like they're popular everywhere among non-Black kids and of course Black kids. Did you guys see a big difference based on where you are, or not really?
I just think it's multicultural. And actually, to be honest, there are folks that aren't even, when we talk about the target audience, of course, it's Black and brown children, but also a surprising audience that we found out was the transracial adoption community. So those are communities that adopt Black children, but aren't necessarily Black. So that's a whole nother audience that we didn't even really think of when we initially did that. And then also you can tell when like an educator or something that isn't necessarily Black or someone who works with children, it may be a pediatrician, it may be a pediatric oncologist or dentist, they stop us as well because they do see diverse children, or if they love children, you can tell. And so they have stopped me in the grocery store because I carry my stuff everywhere. They stopped me no matter where it was, in the library, and just asked, I really like that. Where'd you get it? And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you asked, of course. So they're always a conversation starter. It's not just for our community. It was intentionally created for our community, but it's for anyone who supports and really loves the idea of diversity. And that's what this is.
And we have a logo collection as well that is like just our logos on it. So it doesn't have the kids on it. So I carry that a lot of times when I'm going on vacation. Actually, I carry it everywhere. I was just on a work trip and I carry it because it's so easy and functional. And so when I'm getting on my plane, so I've been stopped quite a bit of times about non-mocha hued people saying, oh, I really like that bag, where did you get it from? So and then they're surprised when I say, oh, it's my company. They're like, really? Making that up?
No, you're like, no. I love it. So going to the people stopping on the street, and doctors and teachers, do you all do, or have you done like workshops or gone into schools or other things like that to not just promote the business but just promote diversity and Black and brown kids?
I've done a couple of career days. We've worked closely with like Amazon, Hulu, Disney, even for their employees. So both of us have done workshops or webinars for their employees during like Black History Month, Women's History, just to share our story. And, because there are Black employee networks within these large organizations, it's helpful for them to see, something that started that they wish they saw that they were younger as well, but just to feel good about this whole process. So we've done things like that. So webinars, conferences. I worked with Bowie State as well as Baylor University with their marketing and entrepreneurship innovation students. So we're just sharing this not only with the little ones, but showing the older ones too, that is, far as diversity, but also entrepreneurship, and that you can do it. And for us, because we were older and had other careers and starting this, it doesn't matter, the age, if you have a vision, it's your vision, and just go for it.
Exactly.
And we've done give back partnerships as well. So that's one other area where we
do a lot of partnerships. Yep. That's my love, to be honest with you. I guess being Divine Nine, I do service is part of that. So giving back, having corporate partners, social responsibility as well is really important to us. So whether we do a backpack drive or we're giving to shelters, things of that nature, we do a lot of that and want to do even more of that.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the first half of my interview with Epic Everyday founders Jenae and Cara, sisters, dynamic women that are telling their story about how they started their business. Stay tuned for part 2 tomorrow.